A very good afternoon, dear students. I hope you all are safe at your place. I, Professor Sonal Agrawal, welcome you all on the digital platform of Agrawal Vidya Vihar English Medium College. This is the lecture for the subject Indian Banking and Currency System Paper 5. In the last lecture, we have discussed about the problems that is the fees per nationalized bank. Yeah? We have completed this topic in the last lecture. Now, in the today's lecture, I want to start the last topic for the chapter 2, that is the non-performing assets. Here, NPA. You may heard about this word because this is not a new concept for you, as you all are the banking students, and you may heard this NPA several times during the discussion of other topics. Now the question arises that what do you mean by NPA? So in very simple terms, that NPA means the non-performing assets is a loan or the advance that is given by the bank to the customer for which the principal amount or the interest amount will be remained overdue for a period of 90 days. So if any interest amount or the principal amount is overdue for a period of 90 days, then that type of loan or that type of advances are known as the non-performing assets. Here, just read the paragraph written on the screen. Done. You may heard about the Vijay Mallya case, you may heard about the Nirav Modi case or the Kingfisher case. In that situation, the amount that is done as a fraud by them, that amount is the NPA, non-performing asset for the bank. Now, according to this, here we discuss the simple definition of NPA, but the actual definition that is given by Reserve Bank of India is slightly different. Here, the big definition you can see. Here, or a detailed definition about the NPA is given by the RBI. So, just to have a look on the definition that is given by RBI, that according to the RBI, Reserve Bank of India, a non-performing asset shall be a loan or advance where certain conditions should be fulfilled. Here, so a list of the categories are given for the NPA. So we are going to discuss about that list. The first thing, if any interest amount or the installment of principal remains overdue for a period of more than 90 days in respect of the term loan, so that is known as the NPA. So here the first definition is given according to the term loan. If a customer has taken a loan and about the payment of the loan, if the interest amount or if the installment amount, or you can say the principal amount here, if interest or the principal amount is overdue for a period of more than 90 days, then that amount is known as the NPA, non-performing assets. So this is all about the loans. The second, the account which remains out of order for a period of more than 90 days in respect of the overdraft and cash credit. Here, well, this is the second definition which is given according to the overdraft facilities and the cash credit facilities. I hope you remember the meaning of the overdraft and cash credit facilities that we discussed in the second year BCom in detail here in the topic of the forms of advances here. So, overdraft, if it is a case of overdraft or if it is a case of cash credit. So, here if overdraft amount or the cash credit amount is taken by a customer and that amount is remained undue for a period of more than 90 days. So here in that types of situation, the amount which is overdue is known as the NPA. So here the first definition, you can see the first condition is about the term loan and the second condition is about the overdraft and cash credit account. Then the third is about the bills. Here, if any bill remain overdue for a period of 90 days, here, so in that situation, the bill purchased and discounted is known as the NPA. Suppose you all are aware about that in the form of advances, we have discussed the fourth form of advances in the second year BCom. That first is the term loan, second is overdraft, third is the cash credit, and fourth is the discounting of bills. So, according to the different types of forms of advances, the different definition is given, but the time period is same in all the definitions here. The time period is 90 days. If you, in the short, you can say if any amount is overdue for the period of 90 days, so it is known as the NPA for bank. So here it is about the discounting of bills. If a bank has discounted a bill and on the maturity date, Yeah, from maturity date to 90 days. If the amount is overdue and the debtor is not able to pay the amount, in that situation, that this amount which is overdue for the more than 90 days from the maturity date, that amount will be known as the NPA, non-performing assets for the bank. Yeah, so here that is the bill purchased or discounted by the bank is known as the NPA. The next definition is about the interest or installment. Here, this is about the loan here that is given for the agricultural purposes. Here, if the interest or the installment of principals remains overdue for the two harvest seasons, as you know, that is it is about the agricultural. So the harvest seasons must be taken into consideration. Why? Because these types of seasons are, you can say, the main season for the agricultural activity. So if the amount is overdue for the two harvest seasons, but a period not exceeding the 2.5 years, in that case, an advance granted for the agricultural purpose is known as the NPA. Again, I am repeating, two harvest seasons if gone and the amount of the interest or the installment is overdue, in that case, as you know that the harvest seasons are the earning seasons of any farmer. So if the two seasons are gone, even though the farmer is not able to pay the interest amount or the installment of the principal amount which is overdue, so in that situation, the amount which is overdue is known as the NPA. Here it is not about 90 days because as you all know that the agricultural activity is not the full year activity. Here earning seasons are something different, marketable seasons are something different. So here we cannot take the time period of 90 days. So for the agricultural purpose, if loan taken, so here just for agricultural purpose, the time period is different. Here the definition is different. So it is given by the RBI. And the next last, the common meaning that we have just discussed, that any amount to be received remain overdue for a period of more than 90 days in respect of the other accounts here, whichever left, whether it is recurring account, whether it is any type of other account which is left. Here we have discussed about the loan account. Here we have discussed about the overdraft account, cash credit account. Overdraft means here we have discussed about the current account. We have also discussed about the loan given for the agricultural activities or the bill discounted. Now, if any other account left, here for any other account, if amount is to be overdue for more than 90 days, so it is known as the NPA. So this is you can say a detailed meaning given about the NPA by the RBI. I hope it is clear. What is this first thing about the term loan? First reason, first definition is about the term loan. If a term loan is taken by the customer and the amount of interest with the principal amount is overdue for the period of 90 days, so it is known as the non-performing assets for a bank. The second is about the overdraft and cash credit facility. If any overdraft facility or cash credit facility is enjoyed by the customer and the customer is not able to pay the amount and the amount is overdue for the period of 90 days, then that amount will be treated as NPA, non-performing assets for the bank. The third is if any bill is purchased and discounted by the bank and on the maturity date after the 90 days, if that amount is overdue, so in that situation, the bill that is discounted by the bank is treated as non-performing assets. The next is about the loan or lending activity given for the agricultural purpose. So if agricultural purpose, if any loan granted by the bank and that loan amount or the interest amount of that loan is overdue for the at least two harvest seasons. Yeah, as you all know, the harvest seasons are the earning season for agricultural activity. So if the two harvest seasons are gone and even if the farmers are not able to pay the amount, so that amount that is overdue, whether it is interest amount or whether it is principal amount, that amount which is overdue is known as the NPA, non-performing assets of a banks. And lastly, if any other account is left in the definition, so for all the other accounts here, if amount is overdue for the days or for the period of 90 days, so that is treated as NPA. Here, the first thing is about term loan, second is about the overdraft and cash credit, third is about the bills discounted, fourth is about the loan for agricultural purpose, and fifth is about the other accounts. So I hope it is clear to you all. It is very easy. If the short note is asked, so I will recommend you that to just try to write this definition. The second is about the classification of NPA, here non-performing assets. Here, according to the bank's requirement, and that NPA is classified into the three categories. Here, banks are required to classify NPA in their balance sheet also. Here, nowadays, according to the terms and conditions, it is compulsory to show the NPA in the balance sheet, and that NPA must be classified into the three categories. The first one is about the substandard NPA, then second is about the doubtful assets, and the third is the loss assets. Here, sometimes students make the mistake in the examination that standard assets, substandard assets, and doubtful assets. No, this is not so. The classification is substandard assets. No standard assets are there. Here, if it is a standard asset, then it is not the NPA. Here, what do you mean by standard assets? Standard assets means the amount is collected within the time. So that's why it is known as the standard assets. Here, so if it is a standard asset, so it is not in the category of NPA. So the category started with the substandard assets. So substandard assets, doubtful assets, and the loss assets. These three are the category of NPA. Now let's discuss the meaning of this three in detail. That first is the substandard assets, that assets which have remained NPA for the period of less than or equal to 12 months. That is known as the substandard assets. For an example, if any loan taken by the customer of 1 lakh rupees, the customer is not able to pay the loan amount with interest for the period of if he is not able to pay till 90 days, then it is known as NPA, non-performing assets. And if it is not able to pay less than 12 months or equal to 12 months, so that amount of loan with interest is known as the substandard assets for the bank. Here, so in the category of NPA in the balance sheet, that amount must be shown, that loan amount must be shown in the category of substandard assets. The second is about the doubtful assets. Here, if an asset would be classified as doubtful, when it is classified as doubtful, if it has remained substandard category for the period of 12 months, now means substandard means equal, less than or equal to 12 months, or doubtful means you can say more than 12 months. If any asset is in the category of substandard assets for the period of 12 months, so it will be treated as doubtful assets. Which type of doubt is there? Doubt is about the recovery. Here, whether the bank is able to recover or not, that is the doubt arise. Why? Because now 12 months are over, it is a big time. So that's why that assets, here assets means what? Here loan taken by the customer. That loan is the liability for that customer, but for the banker's point of view, if we think about the banker's point of view, so that loans are the assets for the bank. That's why for the loan, the assets words are used. So if that loan is not paid by the customer till the period of 12 months, so that assets will be treated as the doubtful assets for the bank. And the next one is about the loss assets. Here, now it is clear that the bank is not able to recover this amount, this types of assets or this types of loan from the customer. So that's why that is known as the loss assets. Here, as per the RBI, the loss assets is considered as uncollectible. Here, it is clear that now the banks are not in the condition to collect that loan from the customer, and such little value that is continuous as a bankable asset is not warranted. It is not warranted with any assets, and the bank is not in the condition to recover this. Even it is a little value, then even though the bank is not able to recover that amount, although there may be salvage or recovery value, it may be there, but that amount will not be, that loan amount will not be collected from the customer. That's why if it is sure that now if the bank is not able to collect the amount, so that uncollectible loan is known as the loss assets for bank. Here, after giving certain notice, after checking the personal assets of the bank, personal assets of the customer, all thing is verified. Now bank has decided that the bank is not in the condition to collect from any sources that amount. So that's why that type of loan is known as the loss assets. So this classification must be clear in your mind. Again, I'm repeating, three classifications are there. Substandard assets, don't mention anytime standard assets. Standard assets are not the classification of NPA. Standard assets are those assets which can be collected in time, which can be recovered in time. So that's why that is known as the standard assets. NPA starts from the substandard assets. Here, the substandard assets, doubtful assets, and the loss assets. These three are the category of NPA. So first is about the substandard assets, that if any loan, your loan is liability for the customer and it is assets for the bank. So that's why for the loan taken by the customer, for that loan here assets words are used. So that assets, if it is remained NPA in the category of NPA, when the asset is in the category of NPA, as we discussed the definition of NPA, that if any amount is overdue for the period of 90 days, yes, till the 90 days it is treated as NPA. If the amount exceeds 90 days, but it is less than the 12 months, again I'm repeating, if the amount is exceeding that overdue period is exceeding the 90 days, but it is less than the 12 months or equal to the 12 months, so that time the standard assets, so that time the loan and the assets for the bank is known as the substandard assets. The next is about the doubtful assets when the time period is more than the 12 months. Which type of time period? Here the overdue time period. When the overdue time period is more than the 12 months, so that type of asset is known as the doubtful asset. Doubt arises that whether the bank is able to recover or not. And lastly, it is the loss asset when the bank has decided the final decision has taken that the bank is now not in the condition to recover the amount or to collect the amount from the customer, and it is the loss for the bank. So that type of asset is known as the loss asset. So it is compulsory that in the balance sheet the bank has to show the NPA, and NPA amount must be shown in these three types of categories: substandard assets, doubtful assets, and loss assets. If you wants to see the this information as a practical knowledge, so just you can Google the balance sheet of any bank, and in that you must see the category of NPA. That NPA must be written in the balance sheet according. Before 13 years, it is not compulsory to show the NPA in the balance sheet of the bank. But nowadays, the rules are changed with the benefit of the public. As if NPA is shown in the accounts, then only the public will be in the clear idea about the financial position of the bank. So that's why it is nowadays it is mandatory to disclose the information about the NPA of the bank. The second topic that we are going to discuss is about the factors that are responsible for rising the NPAs. Yeah, what are the factors that is responsible for these NPAs? So according to the recent study that is conducted by the RBI, the underlying reasons or all the reasons for the NPA in India can be classified or categorized into the two main heads. That heads are namely internal factors or internal reasons, or the external factors. Here, some internal factors are there which are responsible for this NPA, and some of the external factors are there which are responsible for this NPA. So let's start with the internal factors that are responsible for the non-performing assets. So first is diversion of the funds for the expansion, diversification, or modernization, or for taking up new projects. Here, as we all know that the expansion, diversification, modernization, it is not the or you can say productive activity. Here, it is a or you can say it is a big establishment cost that the organization is going to occur. Here, the recovery may be the suspicious one. Sometimes if loan is granted for these types of objective, so the reasons or the risk factor will be increased. As you know, the risk factor will be increased, so of course the chances of the NPA is going to be increased. And sometimes the loans are granted for the new projects, as the new project will be there, so the chances of success will be the suspicious one. If the project is not successful in the market, then of course the profit will be nullified. The projects are loss-making projects. So in that situation, the person who has taken the loan for that new project is not in the condition to recover, to pay the loan amount with interest. So these are the reasons which are responsible for the NPA, non-performing assets. So the bank, why this is known as internal factors? These are known as internal factors because they are in the control of the bank. Here, bank can control these types of factors. That's why it is known as the internal factors. So the bank can control amount of loan which is granted for this type of objective. It is advisable for the bank that don't grant a big portion of loanable fund for this type of objective. Why? Because as this is not the you can say 100% productive objective. So here the chances of of course it is a productive objective, but it is not 100%. The risk factor is high in the case of expansion and the diversification or modernization. It is a big establishment cost, and of course the recovery will be the suspicious. In case of new project, the success will be the suspicious one. So that's why the loss is the risk factor is high and the chances of the loss is high. So this factor it can be in the control of the bank. So that's why this is known as the internal factor, and the bank has to consider that no, don't grant a big amount of loanable fund for this types of objective. The second is about the diversion of the funds for assisting or promoting associate concerns. Here, if for assisting or for promoting any associate, whether it is a new business or whether it is the established one, here for the promoting of those business, if any fund is given, fund means what? Here fund means a loan. If loan is given for this types of objectives, so of course the chances of NPA is going to be increased. The next is about the time or the cost that overrun during the project implementation stage. If the loan is granted for any project and the implementation of that particular project taking time, so that the gap period, suppose the person has taken a loan in the year of 2007 for a particular project, and the project is started actually in the year of 2008. So that 1 year gap period, that is, you know that the cost of that particular loan for the 1 year also the person has to pay the interest. Here it is, if it is loan is taken, though it is not free of cost, whether the person is using the fund or whether the person is not using the fund, whether the fund is idle with the person, even though that customer has to pay the interest amount. So that gap period will increase the cost. Here that is known as the overrun cost of the project. So if the project is going to be implemented after a certain time period, so it is advisable that don't grant the loan. The banker should grant the loan if the project is going to be implemented soon or in a shorter time period. If the project is going to be implemented after a longer time period, so should not grant the loan for those types of projects. Why? Because the overrun cost will going to be increased. Why? Because there is a gap period between the loan taken and the project which is actually implemented. The next is about the business failure due to the product failure or the failure in the marketing. If any loan granted for any business purpose and that business will be failed in the market, or the product of that business will be failed in the market, so ultimately the business will be the loss making one. And in that situation, the businessman or who is the customer of a bank who has taken the loan is not in the condition to repay the loan amount. So that's why before granting the loan for any business purpose, it is advisable that the bank has to check the future of that business. Here, the bank has to do certain market research with the help of certain expert persons, and after doing these analytical things, the banks should grant the loans. Here. The next is inefficiency of the management. Of course, the banker has to ask the information about the management of the particular business or organization also. Sometimes it happens that the projects or if any product is a failure in the market, even though if the management is strong of that organization, so they are able to survive in the market and they are able to pay the loan amount with interest here. So it is compulsory that the bank has to ask the information about the management also, that who is the person who is going to manage this all the things here. If the management is inefficient one, then it is advisable that the banker should not grant the loan to this types of business or the project. Why? Because if the business or the project will be failure in the market, then as the management is also insufficient to pay the loan amount with interest, then of course the NPA chances will be increased. And the next is the slackness in credit management and monitoring. Here, of course, the banks are not in performing a good things in the credit management and monitoring. The banker has to do the eyes on the end use of the credit that is given to the customer here. But of course, here they are not able to manage their credit and monitoring the end use of the credit. So this is the limitations. So the banker has to remove these limitations. And inappropriate technology or the problem that is related to the modern technology. Sometimes the loan granted to the any business purpose or the project that fails in the market because of the technological reasons here. So if the banker is granting the loan for any business purpose or any project work, the banker has to check that which type of technology that is going to be used in that particular business or purpose. Here, sometimes it happens that because of the inappropriate technologies or technological problems, business fails in the market, and because of that the business are not using the modern technology. Because of that reason, the banker has to suffer the NPA. So these things the banker should be keep in mind before granting the loan to the customers. Why? Because these all the factors are in the control of the banks, and the banks can control these all the factors, and bank can reduce the chances of NPA. That's why these factors are known as the internal factors. Why? Because these all the factors are in the hand of the or in the control of the banker. So banker should take care about these all the factors, and banker should try to remove the level of NPA. The next is about the external factors. These factors are not in the control of the bank. Clear? These factors are the external factors, and this sometimes because of these external factors, the banker has to face the NPA. The first reason of the external factor is about the recession in the economy as a whole. As you can say, the pandemic situation is nowadays. Now you can say the recession time is economy. So bankers are facing the NPA. Why? Because now, as you know, the lockdown is there. The huge gap between the earning activity and now the savings. Even the savings of the public are comes to an end. So they are not in the condition to repay the installment or to repay the loan amount or the interest amount of that. So if the recession in the economy is there, so this is the external factor which is not in the control of the bank, and because of that factor, the bank has to face the NPA. Then sometimes the input of the power shortage. Here input means what? Here input means you can say the overall production of a particular economy. And sometimes the power shortage. Power shortage means here we are talking about the business concern. Here because of the power shortage, they are not able to manage their business, or sometimes inputs are not available. Why? Because the total input of the economy is not in the sufficient quantity that they supply in a adequate manner or at a required manner. So sometimes inputs are not available for the production process, and sometimes power shortage are there for the production process. That's why the business has to run in the loss because of these reasons. And as the business is running in the loss, so the businessman who is the customer of the bank is not in the condition to pay the loan amount. So because of these reasons, sometimes which are not in the control of the even businessman, which are not in the control of even the banker, the project is very good, the technology is very good, the business concern is very good, everything is very good, but because of these limitations, sometimes the business has to face the loss. The next is about the price escalation of the inputs here. Sometimes what happened that we decided or we predict something, some price of the input for the future time period, but sometimes it will happen that the prices are changed due to the wide fluctuation in the market. Here it may be sometimes a high boom period in a particular sector, a high recession in a particular sector. So sometimes inputs may suffer a price escalation due to the some factors, and that prices are not in the control of anyone here, even the business concern or even the banker. So sometimes the price changes, maybe the price changes of input here. So sometimes the price changes of input may be the reason of the NPA. If the input is you can say the costly one, then the banker is then the business person is not able to purchase, or he is not able to do the production process, or he is not able to make the profit. So because of these reasons, sometimes the banker has to face the loss. Then exchange rate fluctuation, of course, here's the exchange. I hope you know the meaning of exchange rate here. Sometimes exchange rate fluctuation here we are going to discuss this topic as a separate one in the next semester. But I hope you know the meaning of exchange rate. That rate in which the two currencies are going to be exchanged. That sometimes because of that external factor which are not in the control of the banker has to face the NPA. Sometimes the accidents or the natural calamities are there in a particular country. So because of, as you know, the natural accidents, it is a corona situation nowadays. It is a, you can say it is a example of the natural calamities that is not in the hand of the person. Their persons are trying their best to find the vaccination, but even they are not succeeding in that particular objective. So these types of accidents may happen in a country, or natural calamities may happen. So these may be the reasons of NPA. This is the end for the external factors. From the next topic, we are going to discuss about the remedies of NPA. So I hope it is clear. What we did in the today's lecture, we started with the topic that is the NPA, non-performing assets. In that, what we did, we discussed the general meaning of NPA. Very general meaning that if any principal amount or the interest amount is overdue for the period of 90 days, so that amount is known as the treated as the non-performing asset for the bank. Here, the detailed definition is given about the NPA by the RBI. First paragraph is about the term loan. Second is about the overdraft and cash credit. Third is about the bills discounted. And fourth is about the loan given for agricultural purpose. And last is about the other accounts. Here, so here, in all the definition, the time period is same, is the 90 days. Just for the loan for agricultural purpose, the time period is to harvest seasons. Then we discussed about the classification of NPA. In that we have discussed the substandard assets, doubtful assets, and loss assets. Here, NPA means the overdue for 90 days. Substandard means more than 90 days, but less than or equal to 12 months. Doubtful assets means more than 12 months, and the loss assets means the bankers are now sure that they are not in the condition to collect the amount, and that asset is the loss making one for the banks. That's why it is known as the loss assets. After that, we have discussed about the factors that is responsible for these types of NPA. In that, we have discussed that all the factors are classified into the two categories. That is the internal factors and external factors. Internal factors are in the control of the banks, but external control factors are not in the control of the banks. Here we have discussed some of the examples of the internal factors and some of the examples of the external factors. So this is the end for the today. In the next lecture, we are going to discuss about the remedies that should be taken for to reduce the NPA. Here, now we are going to meet in the next lecture. Till then, stay home, stay safe, start learning. Have a good day. Thank you.